Okay, based on the fact this toilet seems to be leaking in the bowl, what could be causing that?
This rubber flapper down here is not sealing properly, so it's a steady, slow leak.
Anything else in there?
Well, it could have been this leaking, but we've taken that off. That's not leaking, so the only other option it can be leaking is through the flapper.
That's the only two places the water comes into the toilet, right?
Correct.
Okay, if that leak wasn't as obvious, how would we test for that?
By putting dye in.
Okay, so there's green dye in the tank.
Starting to change color.
And there's green dye coming out of there, right?
Yep.
And there's the green dye coming out in the leak, which shows exactly where it's coming from. So we have green dye in the bowl, and we have green dye in the tank. How would you make sure the water is turned off before you start a repair?
You look for the shut-off valve and shut the water off.
Okay, so now it's safe to drain the toilet.
Correct.
Okay, so before we start doing the repairs on the toilet, what are we looking at in here?
Okay, you've got your fill control valve here, you've got your overflow here, and your control float here, and your lever, which is linked to a chain to the float seal. By lifting that, water will go down. And normally if the water valve was turned on, the bowl would refill.
Okay, of all of these parts in here, you can replace all of these?
Yes. You can either buy individual pieces or you can buy a complete kit that will replace everything.
So normally that would go down and the two pieces would seat together.
Correct.
So the first thing that you have to do is unhook.
Unhook the chain from the arm, and this toilet has a rubber seal so it pops right off eventually. Pull it out.
So where do you think that was wore there?
It's really hard to tell. It's bubbled along in here, so there's a pretty good chance it just deteriorated enough that you can feel little lumps all the way around it, so it's leaking around one of those particular spots.
Now, does that have anything to do with the fact we have chlorine in our water? Or just minerals? Or just normal aging of
just normal aging.
Okay, so this is the toilet stopper kit, and those are fairly easy to find.
Yeah, we can get them in any hardware home supply center. This is just a universal one that'll fit a large variety of makes and models of toilets.
Okay, so now we've got the old one out and we've got the new one ready to put in.
The new one should just snap right in on the ears where the old one was. Snaps there, snaps there. There should be ears right in here on either side, where this universal flapper will just snap right in on either side. And you got the bolt chain goes up here to the arm. Hook it up as such.
Okay, so now we're ready to see how a toilet actually works.
You turn your water back on. Refill.
So the water's filling up in the tank.
And refill in the bowl if it's empty.
It's refilling the bowl. Water's coming in and the float bowl is rising. What's the purpose of that?
Yeah, you got water, the main water supply coming out through the flow control. And there's always a little flow that goes down into this tube that goes in to top your bowl off.
Okay.
And then once it gets to the proper level that you've got set by the float will shut the water supply off.
And you can hear it slowing down.
Shuts the water off.
Water stopped coming in, and with any luck,
And there's none showing, so we'll add some dye to
there's no
visible.
water coming out.
So we'll add some dye in again. Mix it up good.
Okay, some people might wonder what all of this white and brown deposit is in there. Is that something we should be worried about?
No, it's just because here we have hard water, so it's hard water buildup and
Mineral deposits.
mineral deposits. And
And
since it's got a styrofoam lining, you got to be very careful. You can't just put cleaners in there or dissolve the styrofoam.
And the styrofoam has stopped the tank sweating, right?
That's correct.
So we don't get wet
Condensation.
floors. And then it's normal to see that corrosion down around the bolts that are holding the two parts together.
Yes.
So that toilet is ready to serve us for a few more years.
Put the lid back on
Lid back on.
and
Yeah.
ready to go.
And it looks like our leak was fixed, and that took all of what, 5 minutes?
5 minutes.